Alright, what's good, y'all? Here is the video covering precision swing point, also known as a PSP. Now, this is another QT concept originating from Day, and I'm just here to spread how I utilize precision swing points. So, in the most simple matter, a precision swing point is a candlestick pattern. This often forms prior to sequential SMT. It can be utilized in a few different aspects, whether that is a higher time frame PSP confirming a lower time frame sequential SMT, or sometimes a higher time frame sequential SMT forms. We utilize PSPs as a lower time frame cracking collation. There's many different uses and there's many different ways to use it, and we're going to go through some examples today. The main aspect of what we want to go through is just how to identify it and what it is. So this pattern is that of a bullish swing low formation or a bearish swing high formation. In this example, we're going to show a bullish swing low example. And that's all it is. The importance of this pattern relies on, specific criteria. So, like we said, in the most simple aspect, a precision swing point is a candlestick pattern. It is the divergence among candlesticks. And as the name suggests, it has to be a swing point. So leading up to this trade and leading up to this day in particular, we're going to zoom out a bit. We're utilizing the proper time frame alignment. As we can see, price is delivering out of this higher time frame expansion. I'll just make it simple, go on the 1 hour chart, and we can go from there. So on the 1 hour chart, we can see that within Q2 or within Q3, we run out the Q2 low. This low gives us, that low is weekly cycle. So we form weekly cycle sequential SMT at the lows as NQ and ES both run out the previous day low while YM fails to, as we can see down here. This gives us bullish confirmation for price to expand. Price expands, we get a 1 hour CSD, 1 hour buy model, price expands overnight. From there, leading up to this New York Open, where our example is going to take place, we can see that we rebalance the overnight range, giving us validation for longs within the 75% mark. Ultimately, we're going to be looking for some sort of lower time frame cracking collation to confirm higher prices. So now when we go down the time frame, back to that day, we then see that, okay, we're within a optimal buying time. We now have to identify some sort of lower time frame cracking collation. And as we can see here, ES at 10:55 puts in a down close candle. Same thing on NQ. While on YM, we put in a up close candle. So that is your precision swing point. For starters, before anything else, we can see that it is a very obvious swing point. As we can see right here, just edit how this looks, is a swing point. What that means is that there is no lower low on the left or right side of it. That is what, obviously that's the basics of ICT, basics of the market. Nonetheless, I just want to clarify. As we can see there, when that PSP forms, price then expands. That was our lower time frame cracking collation. Additionally, we can see that we also had 90-minute hidden sequential SMT. As we can see within the, let me quickly fix this. Let me just go in replay mode so it will show the 90-minute cycles. As we can see during Q4, ES and NQ both close below the Q3 low. Q3 body low to be specific, or YM fails to. Now, however, you can see that we do close, we have a little bit of body below here. However, when it comes to hitting the sequential SMT, we focus on the closes, not the openings. So here we can still validate this as sequential SMT. So we have 90-minute hidden sequential SMT, which is confirmed through a 5-minute PSP. That then validates expansion. Now, this is just one example of many different utilizations of PSPs, as Halo may or may not have talked about in his swing divergence videos. Souping a PSP is what makes a high probability swing divergence. Likewise, if we form a swing divergence and then on that swing divergence candle we form a PSP, that is what makes it high probability. So those are two different variations of utilizing PSPs to identify a high probability swing divergence. Now, something to keep in mind is that we have to utilize this in a proper time frame synchronization, which means monthly cycle sequential SMT, focus on a 4-hour PSP. Weekly cycle sequential SMT, 1-hour PSP. Daily cycle, 15-minute, 90-minute, 5-minute. So the classic time frame alignment that you guys know and utilize that we have taught about in previous lessons. Now, we talked about earlier utilizing higher time frame PSPs to confirm lower time frame sequential SMT. An example of that could be a 1-hour or a 4-hour PSP. We'll say this. We'll say a 4-hour PSP confirming a daily cycle sequential SMT. Now, that's not something that, to be honest, I don't want to spread misinformation, and I don't want to, say anything that's incorrect. I don't really utilize that. The main way I utilize PSPs is to identify a high probability swing divergence. The proper utilization of higher time frame PSP confirming a lower time frame sequential. I don't know, I haven't done the proper data collection to understand the proper time frame alignments for that. It's either 4-hour PSP to confirm daily cycle sequential SMT, which makes the most amount of sense, or it would be a 1-hour PSP to confirm daily cycle sequential SMT, or it could be both. If I'm just being completely honest, it could be one, it could be the other. Do your own data collection. I'm just explaining what a PSP is, and again, when it comes to swing divergences, that's how we utilize them to identify a high probability swing divergence. So, yes. So, we're going to recap something. We're going to recap it. Very simply, we're just going to recap what we just talked about. So, we're going to split it into two assets. Asset 1 and asset 2. Just for those who want to screenshot and add to your own notes, I'm going to make this. Obviously, you guys can utilize the Excali draw, which you will see in the Quarterly Theory Roadmap channel for another reference. But yeah, anyways, asset 1. This might take, to be honest, this might take a little bit, so you can just fast forward until I'm done making this. But yeah. So again, PSP. So one has to be swing point. There is another variation called a precision candle, which I'm gonna cover in the next video, but it's essentially to give you guys a little bit of a hint, or perhaps do your own data collection, to get a little head start. It is essentially hence the name, a precision swing point. You have to have a swing point. Precision candle is just a candle that is a divergence. It does not utilize the swing point. Okay, here we go. Probably should have done that before I started recording, but oh well. So again, precision swing point is when one asset forms a down close candle while another asset forms another correlated asset, forms a up close candle. That is what a precision swing point is. It has to be a swing point. There has to be a 3 candle pattern involved. If there is not, then it is not a valid precision swing point, but it can be a precision candle. But again, we're going to cover that in the next video. So it is essentially this. Again, best way I utilize it is going to be in the example of identifying a high probability swing divergence, and that is pretty much it. So one last thing I want to cover is just another example from the past of how we can utilize it. Again, essentially an example like this, proper time frame alignment, we have monthly cycle and weekly cycle. Weekly cycle, we can look at a 1 hour. 1 hour, we have a 1 hour PSP, displacement down within that 1 hour SMTF. We form another 1 hour PSP. When that candle closes, such as right here, when that candle closes on this opening, we can look for a lower time frame entry. So 1 hour PSP, when a 1 hour candle closes, we can identify an entry on the 5 minute. If we have a 5 minute swing divergence, we can drop down to a 1 minute, or you can just get risky, drop right down to the 1 minute, but you have to have the right confluences. So again, when it comes to sequential SMT, the market in general, we have to utilize this with overall market structure. That's going to be your highest probability times to use this. When you're looking at sequential SMT, PSPs, you want to be playing in line with a higher time for market structure. This should be your confirmation for continuation. And really, I do not suggest trying to utilize this for catching every single reversal. The probabilities, the odds of you making more money is going to be so much greater when you focus on playing continuation using PSPs and sequential SMT as continuation confirmation instead of trying to catch these reversals. That's just my 2 cents. Feel free to backtest this, collect your own data, collect your own understanding, and let me know how your results come. Otherwise, I'll see you guys all in the next video.